back to God's Truth Daily, and let's see today's verse. Today's verse is 1 Corinthians 13:13. This verse says, 3 things will last forever: faith, hope, and love. And the greatest of these is love. Out of the things that will last forever, there's things of this world that will end, but then there's things that will last forever. There's things that will last for eternity. And those 3 things are faith, hope, and love. But out of these 3, the one that will last forever, out of the ones that will last forever, the greatest of the things that will last forever is love. Love is the greatest. That's actually the heading of this chapter. It's love is the greatest, or actually, that's what it is in my Bible. I don't know about yours. If maybe different versions have different headings, I don't know. But in my Bible, in the NLT version, the heading for this chapter is love is the greatest. Love is the greatest. Love is the greatest of faith, hope, and love. Those will last forever. So they're automatically greater than those things that will end when this world ends. So now it's down to these 3, faith, hope, and love. They're the greatest out of everything. But which one is the greater one out of all these 3? It will be love. It's the greatest of these. These 3 things will last forever: faith, hope, and love. The greatest of these is love. Love is the greatest. As I was getting ready to start this video, I was looking back through my old videos. I remember doing a video about a verse similar to this, and actually I found it. They're also in this chapter. 2 videos I found. There's one from May 16th, 2017. The other one is from, I believe, June 2nd, 2017. Yes, it is. May 16th, 2017 had 1 Corinthians 13, 6 and 7. The other one had 1 Corinthians 13, 2. But they all mentioned, but both of those verses mention this verse that I'm talking about today, 1 Corinthians 13, 13. 3 things will last forever: faith, hope, and love, and the greatest of these is love. So I'm just going to play you these 2 videos, and then I'll close it out from there. Today's verses actually are 1 Corinthians 13, 6 through 7, which says, "It does not rejoice about injustice, but rejoices whenever the truth wins out. Love never gives up, never loses faith, is always hopeful, and endures through every circumstance." So what I want to do first is read. So actually, this whole chapter is about love, but since I'm not gonna read the whole chapter, so I just want to read verses 4 through 7. Well, 6 and 7 we already read, but 4 and 5, and then 6 and 7 again. So love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous or boastful or proud or rude. It does not demand its own way. It is not irritable, and it keeps no record of being wronged. It does not rejoice about injustice, but rejoices whenever the truth wins out. Love never gives up, never loses faith, is always hopeful, and endures through every circumstance. So, and then verse 3, "If I gave everything I have to the poor and even sacrificed my body, I could boast about it. But if I didn't love others, I would have gained nothing." So if he didn't love anybody, he would have gained nothing, even if he did all the good deeds in the world. And then actually verse 1 and verse 2. "If I could speak all the languages of earth and of angels, but didn't love others,
I would only be a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal. If I had the gift of prophecy, and if I understood all of God's secret plans and possessed all knowledge, and if I had such faith that I could move mountains but didn't love others, I would be nothing. So, love, you need love for everything. And then in verse 8, prophecy and speaking in unknown languages and special knowledge will become useless, but love will last forever. Love lasts forever. So this whole verse is about love being the greatest thing. And then in the last verse, verse 13, 3 things will last forever: faith, hope, and love. And the greatest of these is, you guessed it, loved. Or not loved with a D at the end, making it past tense, but love. Love. So this whole chapter is about love is the greatest. That's the heading of the chapter. Love is the greatest. And it is. Paul gives us clear examples of how love is the greatest. And that's not the only place in the Bible where we see love is the greatest. Psalm 136:2 says, "Give thanks to the God of gods. His faithful love endures forever." And then in today's verses, verse 7 specifically, love endures through every circumstance. So, in Psalm 136:2, it says, His faithful love endures forever. God's faithful love endures forever. And then today's verses, His love endures through every circumstance. Love endures through every circumstance. And then, endures forever, endures through every circumstance. It says it in both. So, what love exactly is he talking about? I think he's talking about love in general, but I think it could also be talking about God's love, because God's love is all of these things. God's love is patient and kind. God's love is not jealous or boastful or proud or rude. God's love does not demand its own way. God's love is not irritable, and it keeps no record of being wrong. It does not rejoice about injustice, but rejoices whenever the truth wins out. God's love never gives up, never loses faith, is always hopeful, and endures through every circumstance. So, this is talking about God's love. But it could also be talking about just love in general. If you have love, then love is all of these things. So, not just God's love, but all loves. All forms of love. So, all forms of love are all of these. All forms of love. God's love, our love, everybody's love is like this. All love is patient, kind, not jealous, not boastful, not proud, not rude, does not demand its own way, it's not irritable, keeps no record of being wronged. It does not rejoice about injustice, rejoices whenever the truth wins out, never gives up, never loses faith, is always hopeful, and endures through every circumstance. Love and God's love are all of these things. And it will last forever, as it says in verse 13. 3 things will last forever: faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love. Love is the greatest. All loves are the greatest. So that was pretty much 1 Corinthians 13. Today's verse is 1 Corinthians 13:2, which says, "If I had the gift of prophecy, and if I understood all of God's secret plans and possessed all knowledge, and if I had such faith that I could move mountains but didn't love others, I would be nothing." So this verse, it ties in with a video that I did earlier in the month of May, May 16th to be exact. It was on 1 Corinthians 13, yes, same chapter, verses 6 and 7, which is also about love. If you want to check that video out, I don't know if it will only be for a computer, but there will be a link on the screen. It might be only for computer, but if not, if it is, there will also be a link in the description to that video, and there will be a link at the end of the video, a thing that you could just click on and it will bring up the video. So back to the verse. If I had the gift of prophecy, understood all of God's plans, possessed all knowledge, and had enough faith to move mountains, but didn't love others, I would be nothing. All of that stuff would be for nothing. It would all be nothing. It would be worth nothing. Why? Because love is all of the characteristics listed in 1 Corinthians 13, 6, and 7. Actually, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous or boastful or proud or rude. It does not demand its own way. It is not irritable, and it keeps no record of being wrong. It does not rejoice about injustice, but rejoices whenever the truth wins out. Love never gives up, never loses faith, and is always hopeful and endures through every circumstance. That is true. If you want a more in-depth explanation of what I just read, that will be in the video from May 16th, that video on those verses. So it will be a complete in-depth explanation of those verses. So, yeah, because love is the greatest. So that's even the in the last verse of this chapter, 1 Corinthians 13:13. 3 things will last forever: faith, hope, and love. And the greatest of these is love. Love is the greatest. That's even the heading for the chapter. Love is the greatest. So if love is the greatest, and you had all these gifts, but you don't have love, which is the greatest, you have nothing. You have all with love and all your gifts, or you have nothing because you don't have love. Which one would you choose? I will choose all, the gifts and the love. So that was 1 Corinthians 13.
Okay, so you saw those videos that were also in this chapter, but you could also tell how much I've changed. How much these videos have changed, how much I have changed in my style of talking since then. These videos were 8 to 9 months old. 8, 9 months, something like that. That's like 3/4 of a year. Wow, so you've seen how much I've changed since then, and you've heard me talking about verses that are also in this chapter, along with 1 Corinthians 13:13. So there's only one thing left to do, and that is thank you so much for watching this video. This verse was 1 Corinthians 13:13, and it says, 3 things will last forever: faith, hope, and love. And the greatest of these is love. Again, thank you so much for watching this video. Leave a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe for more verses Monday through Friday. And turn on those post notifications while you're at it to be notified when those verses do get uploaded Monday through Friday. Here's a little clip on how to turn on the post notifications, and I will see you tomorrow. Goodbye.